6,000 meters for time. This is actually the standard benchmark distance in the sport of rowing. It used to be 5,000 meters, but in the late 90s, they switched it to 6,000 meters after learning that it was a better aerobic performance indicator. So that's what you're doing today. The mental strategy is very similar to the 5K. And so let's talk about that a little bit. You have a lot of data now to go by, and I think the most relevant data points are what you plan on doing for your 30-minute row for max distance, but also what your 5K performance was on February 15th. So look at that and see if you can hold your pace that you did on the 5K on February 15th, because you were doing that 5K with the expectation of having two more smaller pieces behind it. So, and I know that a lot of you hit a 5K PR, but you still knew that you had work to do after that. So I think that that may be a very good pace indicator for your 6,000 meter today, but also factor in your 30-minute row for max distance and what your target pace is going to be for that. Okay, those are your pace goals. In terms of stroke rating, it's got to be somewhere between 24 and 28. If it's lower than 24, you're not in shape. So we want to, all of you are. So let's get that rating. You know, I don't want to say one number. It should just be something efficient for you, something probably between 24 and 28 or fluctuating between that range during the piece. Now, in terms of having a mental framework on how to approach this piece, I have a few different points. Number one, I think you all realize by now that Concept 2 automatically will break your workout into fifths. And I really like that. I think I want you to use that today. So that means you've got 5 1,200 meter segments to do today. So what's the first checkpoint? It's going to be, how do you feel at 4,800 meters to go? You'll know by then, like, oh man, I bit off more than I can chew, or oh, I feel pretty good. If you bit off more than you can chew, if you feel like, man, this is not sustainable, you're going to make small adjustments, and we've talked about that in the past. I think by now you know how to do that. Make your first small adjustments at the 4,800 meter mark. Another relevant data point, I'm being a little bit anecdotal, so I'd like you to see exactly what the number is for yourself, but I've learned over the years that by the 8-minute mark, my system is completely like vasodilated and I am plugged in to the piece by the 8-minute mark. So if I can hold a pace at the 8-minute mark, I know that I can pretty much take that to the finish. So what is it for you? You know, if I get to the 8-minute mark and I'm like, not able to catch my breath, I know that I need to cut it down a little bit. So I'm suggesting that the first checkpoint be at the 4,800 meter mark, and then the next one's going to be somewhere around that 8-minute mark. But of course, now you have your fifths. You can just go to the next 3,600 meter and see how you feel. Okay, negative splits, not necessarily. Negative splits mean it's smart pacing if it's tight, right? We don't want a big delta if you're doing negative pacing. So just keep it really tight. I mean, the best piece is going to be really flat on this. It really shows that you understand where you should be on your pacing. So I don't want a steep slope on your negative splits. So we're kind of getting out of training mode and you're in racing mode now, for this piece anyway. I think that is it. Bring the rating up on the last fifth with 1,200 meters to go, and then bring it up again with 500 meters to go. All right. This is all assuming that you can, and you know, if you're just holding on for dear life, then don't bring the rating up. Just try to stay level-headed on this. Anyway, go get this one, treat it, be aggressive mentally, like attack this one. In some ways, this is as valid as the 30-minute max distance effort. So go get it. Have a good row. I can't wait to see the results.